Well, it's a beautiful overcast day. I just fed the cows a round bale because I haven't mowed in a couple of days. And I was sitting here thinking, what a wonderful world. So, I thought we'd just give, I can't walk by a weed without pulling it. I thought we'd just give an update on how everything fared this summer now that the temperatures are really starting to cool off. So if you're not from Massachusetts, I mean, it hasn't really cooled off yet, right? Like it's, today's 80, but for the next week, we're looking at the low 70s. Mittens is looking for apples from that apple tree that I've been feeding her for the last couple days. Not happening right now, Mitty. So temperatures will be in the 70s all next week, so it's our planting season once again. Today's pretty overcast, but we haven't gotten any rain. But the rainy season will start. So these are slenderinas. They're junipers, and they won't get wide. They're going to stay narrow like this. They'll just get taller. They went through quite the transplant shock, and I mean, I thought they were dying for a hot minute, and then I said, well, we'll see how they do. They're planted in almost straight manure, so I knew they had enough nutrients to rebound if they wanted it. It was just watering, and unfortunately the week I put them in, it also almost hit 100 degrees. We were at 98, 99, and these plants were just like, yep, no, don't like it here, we're out. Thank God it didn't last long. It was only a week, and we dropped back down into the 80s, and the plants slowly but surely started to recover. So here's where those plants are. These hydrangeas, these little hydrangeas that I got, they were kind of the same thing. They had quite the transplant shock when I planted them. As a matter of fact, on this one, you can see still a lot of dead twigs in it because it was not loving its life. But I'm happy to report it's putting on new growth. And, it's going to recover. So we got a couple of horsemen in here. We have a native, the heck are those things called? I can't think right now. Yeah. Oh, you know what? There's a tag down at the bottom of it. No, that says snowball viburnum, and that is not a snowball viburnum. It's a witch hazel. So a native witch hazel. She's a pretty plant. I love witch hazels. I could have them everywhere. Those foxtail will come out of the ground in a couple more weeks. Once the nights start dropping into the low 50s, right now the nights are in the low 60s, the days are in the 80s. Once we start dropping into the low 50s, I'll pull those foxtail out and put them in the greenhouse for the winter. And then let's see, that's the snowball viburnum right there. I can't wait for that sucker to get big. Oh, I almost kicked that little froggy. Where'd he go? Huh. I seen him hop on by. I see this weed under here too. I cannot miss an opportunity to pull weed. Let's see. I never remember what this is. I like this tree. You think I'd remember? Oh, Ceru. I hear that they put on a beautiful fall display, so I'm looking forward to that tree coloring up. I do have a couple of Japanese maples on the other side of the yard that are really starting to color up, but this one has shown no signs of it yet, probably just because it's so immature. Even this one had a hard time with the heat when I planted it. It lost some of its foliage, but it's recovering nicely. It put on all new growth. You can see this here. This is its new growth. It's like a bright yellow when it comes out, as opposed to the older foliage, which is behind it. But it put on a bunch of new growth. So it is rooted in, and I am quite pleased with that. See? I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is. I'm not gonna pull it yet. I'm gonna take a Google picture and see what it is. So I planted a little red bud over here this year. And I planted a phantom hydrangea and a gray owl juniper around this tree just because it needed more. So this rooted in as well. Look at the beautiful color on a red bud, huh? Goodness gracious. I really can't get over how pretty these trees are. I can't wait to see this grow up. It'll be coming with me when I move. I love a red bud. It's got beautiful, beautiful foliage. So that one is a Carolina Sweetheart, in case you're wondering. Beautiful tree, just absolutely beautiful. And I really think the red and the yellow are gonna look outstanding together once we get a little bit bigger of a tree in there. That is a phantom hydrangea. That is going to be tall. Tall like a pinky winky, but more slender. Gray owl juniper. There's some blueberry bushes right there. There's some boxwoods over there. And then these are the newer-ish beds. And I'm happy to report they filled in nice this year. You know, this bed, let's see, is it this one? Yeah, this one's not even a year old yet. This bed's filled in nice. So golden rain tree. I mean, I just think, but not even a year under its belt, not even a full year, I should say. I think the golden rain tree, the hinokis, the snowbell, which the little snowbell's putting on some, let's see, putting on some flowers. I'll keep these little, I mean, they're sort of insignificant, but cute little flowers, and they smell fantastic. Let's see. So the snowball viburnum, the snowbell, the hinokis in the back there is a holly, an American holly tree. That is Fox Run river birch. So it doesn't get tall. It's not like a regular river birch. It's just, it's more of a, well, it's more of a triple trunk short tree, but it's going to have to be limbed up this winter in order to get the look I'm going for with that. And the hinoki, and then like I said, the golden rain tree. Those were all planted, geez, I dare say November last year. If it wasn't November, it was late October. And then everything else came after that. Oh, and the Japanese white pine right here. So that, Tempelhof. So that was planted in November as well. Everything else came after that. So I am thrilled with this summer's growth. Thrilled with it. It just really looks good. So we have some euonymus, we have foxglove, we have hypericum, we have, I'm trying to think what else is in this bed. There's some grasses, ogon. What else is in here? There's some boxwood. I mean, it's kind of all repeat of the same plant. Oh, and I never remember the name of that stuff. I don't know why. I love the plant. You think I'd remember the name? I know it when I go to the nursery, but I don't know it off the top of my head. It just doesn't come to me. And I don't know why. That plant right there. But yeah, so it's just a repeat. Oh, there's an andina. But actually, there's a couple of those little flirt andinas in here. Yeah, I think that's it. So, you know, it's all basically the same, just repeated throughout, other than, well, even the hinokis are repeated throughout, and what else? What else is, oh, yeah, so, but it looks good. Let me just stand back here. Take it all in. not bad. Not bad for under a year. I'm happy with that. That's going to be a pretty bed when it's all said and done. It's done being planted. It's just now we need to fill in. I'm not planting anything else in there. Unless I put a couple of perennial flowers here and there. I'll dot them here and there, but that's from seed. That's when I get to it. Other than that, that's the way it's going to stay. These hinoki were planted, I think, in June of last year, because I got the stag for my birthday. So that was June. So these were planted in July. So I bought the hinoki to go around the statue. So, and then this next bed was planted in May of last year. So this is just over a year old. Let's see. What do we have? That is Bacheri, Colorado spruce. Boy, they're pretty. I'd order more of those. I absolutely would order more of those. And then some Thin Man Arborvitae or Thin Man Thuya. I did pop a couple of dahlias in here this year just because I love these obsidian dahlias. And the more places I can put them, the happier I am. So there are some obsidian dahlias there. Those are probably making this bed look a little more full than they are, but those in my zone have to come out. And the tubers have to get stored for the winter. There's some spirea. There's a couple of azalea. So one's back there. They'll grow, a little bit taller so you can see them on this side of the bed. That is a dog hobble called Paisley Pup. I love that dog hobble. There's more Hypericum back here. Let's see. There is phlox, garden phlox, not creeping phlox. There's another one of them plants. Why can't I remember the name of them? Lord, I love these plants. I can't think of the name. I don't know. That's just me. That's what happens when you get to my age. There's a Katsura. This is a Elysium. Right? Yeah, Elysium. Anise flower. This is tall. This will be a tall one. Beautiful red flower. It flowers all summer. Just lost its flowers just maybe about a week ago. Bright red flowers on it all summer. The one on the other side of the yard still has flowers on it, but I think that's because it's a little older. There's some sunsparkle sedum, a hydrangea, some more sedum, some iris. This Japanese maple is a butterfly, a Japanese butterfly maple. I absolutely love this tree. I can't wait to see its fall color. Another azalea. Another dog hobble back there. And then over in the back, let me get through here. Oh, okay, I'm barefoot, so that hurt. Over in the back, there is a why do I do this? I blank all the time. That's why I hate making videos. I mean, if I seen this in your yard, I'd say, oh yeah, I have 5 of them. Yeah. And I wouldn't even need you to tell me the name. I'd just blurt it out. But here, yeah, I forget the name of them. Anyway, these things smell amazing. I'll remember the name before the video's done. I absolutely love these plants. And if you have a chance to plant some, they die back to the ground every year. And I mean, they die back to the ground. They're just like complete gone. So you try and save the stem over winter. But that's what it's managed. I'm 5'6", it's taller than me. So that's what it's managed to put on in just one season of growth. And that was just planted last year. This is my kind of like my sick bay. Oh, this poor maple's got weeds in it too. It shouldn't. Should have pulled that out a long time ago. The whole base has weeds in it, but it's almost time to clean these plants up and put them back in the greenhouse. So the eucalyptus, I grow from seed and then I overwinter it. So there's some from seed that I start in the raised beds, and then I'll take it out, I'll overwinter it, and then replant it the following year in a bucket like this. And then I can cut this back and preserve it so that I have fresh eucalyptus. And then Leylandii cypress. So, you know, I gotta trim this up a little bit. And I don't mind how big this thing gets. So my neighbor's house is over there on the other side of that tree line. And in the winter, these are all deciduous trees. So when she looked out coming down her driveway, which is over there, which goes all the way down street side, when she looked and she looked over here, 2 years ago, there was nothing planted over here. I mean, absolutely nothing. I said, oh my gosh, this just looks terrible. You just seen this cow field. And then my house, the side of my house, and this side of this barn. And I'm like, geez, what a terrible view she has for all the work I put into this property. I mean, it just looks awful when you're looking over from her house. So that's why I decided to plant up over on this side of the yard. One, because she shouldn't have to look at my mess. And two, because I just think it needed it, right? This side of the yard needed something. I don't have to look at the cow field every day either. These were, believe it or not, these trees were Christmas trees that I bought. They were tabletop Christmas trees. So, and that's just what they're labeled as. Obviously they're a spruce, but they were just labeled as Christmas trees, and I bought them a couple years ago and had them in the house with lights on them, and then I planted them out in the yard. This one had completely lost the leader off of it. When they sent it to me, I was kind of upset because I knew I was going to plant these with this Leyland. So I was kind of upset that this is the one they chose to send me, right? But it's putting on a new leader. I'm very happy for it. This one had its leader. So it has a little bit better of a shape, but they're both equally pretty. They're just going to grow at a little bit different of a rate because this one had to spend a lot of time making a new leader from, I don't know why they would cut the leader off. I really don't know what that's all about. But now this, once this leader is done being made, this is going to have to be cut back to let the leader take over so the tree has its original leader back. But that can wait. So I was on the internet today, just trying to find some inspiration on some gardening channels, and I came across this new gardening channel. And this lady was on there just droning on and on about how much work it is to garden and how she doesn't want to do it anymore. She had a beautiful garden, but let me tell you, she gardened on maybe a half acre, and she had it probably, pretty well full. I wouldn't say full. I mean, there's always room to plant another plant, but it wasn't a lot. And she does garden in Georgia, so I guess the heat is probably getting to her, but she's just going on and on how it's too much work, how there's no enjoyment out of it, how she needs a landscaping company, how it just takes all of her time, and she didn't enjoy June, July, and August. And I just thought, geez, I am just totally fortunate that I absolutely love being out here on the land. I absolutely love being a gardener. I absolutely love putting my hands in the dirt. I mean, yeah, when the hose kinks, do I start swearing? Of course. And when when we go for months without rain, or when the snow's piling up, breaking limbs, or when the heat, the humidity starts getting to you. I mean, I guess, stuff gets to you, but you're not going to hear me complain on the internet. Oh, and then she said she was 50 and she was just getting too old to garden. I'm like, I'm 60, and I still love every minute of every day of this. There is nothing that I would rather be doing than being outside on the land and enjoying the birds and enjoying the frogs and even the insects to some degree. Like this had a whitefly issue this year, like really bad. You can probably tell by looking at some of the leaves, they look darker. Oh, I can see the whiteflies flying around. You probably can too. It's not as bad right now, but it's still pretty bad. Anyway, I was gonna spray it. And then I noticed down at the base of the plant, right before I sprayed it, I'm like, oh, look, there's like 20 ladybugs down there. And it just put a smile on my face. I was like, how fortunate am I that the ladybugs moved in already? They'll take care of whatever's making that black soot on there. Now that's an annual. That's Rockin' Playing the Blues, I think, salvia, which isn't flowering that great right now because of the whitefly infestation. But it's just an annual. So we've got about another 6 weeks before I have to pull all this stuff out. And honestly, I'll probably do fall containers in about another 3 weeks. So I'm not going to spray it. I'll let the ladybugs take care of it. And if the whiteflies want to live, then they're going to live. Oh, look. Here's another one of those. It's a catalpa. Catalpa. El Nino catalpa tree. Catalpa tree, plant. Yeah. Okay. So that's what it is. So that's what's over there with the flowers on it. I knew it would come to me. This is going to get planted on the other side of the yard. So it's just been hanging out there for a little while. But now it's infested in whiteflies. So I don't want to plant it until the weather starts to cool off. But while I was walking up here telling you about this crazy lady on the internet, I was trying to do a shot of the front yard, which looks real pretty. Anyway, if you're going to complain, get off the internet. Complain to some friends. Like, don't make the internet about your complaints. There's a lot of joy in gardening. And I know not every day is perfect and not everything is perfect and the heat can get to people, but don't make it more miserable for somebody else. Do you ever just smell the soil? Like, it just smells wonderful and it feels good under bare feet. And the flowers smell good and the birds, they land on these things all the time. It's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful thing to enjoy being outside in the garden. And I think, this lady showed a couple pictures of herself on a boat, and she was really wearing nice clothes. So maybe it's just not her life, but if you're going to own a gardening channel, I really think you should get some enjoyment out of it. So there's my rant for the day. Here I am ranting, right? And I'm telling you, you shouldn't rant on the internet. But I'm only ranting because I don't want ranting, which makes absolutely no sense. And I see our little friend Phil over here. Phil, you looking for an apple? Might as well end with happy little Philly getting an apple. Looking for an apple, buddy? Let me get you one. So every year is a little bit different with the apples. Last year was a stellar apple year. And we were in a drought, man. Oh, we had a miserable drought last year. And it's not that this year isn't a good apple year. They're good, right? They're the size of my palm. But it's just, we don't have as many apples as we had last year. And I don't think they're as big. Look at him, jonesing for an apple. You want to show your fans, Philly, how you eat an apple? Let me try them. Makes feeding you quality food. A little sour still, Philly. Not bad, but a little bit sour. So he moves it towards the back of his mouth. He has no upper teeth, right? So he moves it towards the back of his mouth and he uses his back molars to break the apple. I'm always afraid he's going to choke. So sometimes I smash him on the ground. But he figures it out. Good apples, huh, Phil? I got you two. He's got molars. He just has no upper teeth. And he's not supposed to, because he's a ruminant. That's the way they are. He'll get them when he's older. All right, Phil, that's all I got you. That's all I got. Bye, Philly. Peace out, homie. I mean, how can you not enjoy life? Really? Ferg, how can we not enjoy life? Ferg says, that was unfortunate that you gave that thing an apple without giving it to Fergus. Here, Mittens. Here you go, Ferg. Misty. Get it, Misty. Lulu. Get it, Lulu. Get it and run. Mittens is coming. See, Mitty don't let anybody have anything. All right, one more. That black tongue. Grossness. All right, well, that's it. Fergus, no more. I'll get your bucket later. All right, that was it for the day. I hope you guys are having a great day. You're outside. You're enjoying life. And already dreaming of next year's plans. Have a great day. Bye.